got my pal, Buddy Gizzy, rewarding me, I guess, for taking him for a walk. It's nice on a cold night to have a dog in your lap, that's for sure. So it's a super cozy night in Durango, Colorado. We had snow this morning and it's pretty cold tonight. But we're spending about a week in Durango because the New Mexico state parks have a 14-day consecutive day limit, and then you have to be away from the park for 6 days. And we're staying at Navajo Lake State Park, and it's one of my favorite places that we stay because the fly fishing is just incredible there. It isn't for everybody. It's beautiful, but it is high desert, and there is a producing gas well within a stone's throw of our campsite, and that would probably bother a lot of people. But having worked in the oil patch, it doesn't bother me at all. Natural gas rises, so for there to be a disaster, it takes an awful lot of it at one shot, And probably the bigger danger is from hydrogen sulfide gas, which settles in low areas. So, I know that that's not an issue here for us. So, anyway, we stay, and Terry's kind enough to let me fish there. I'll say one thing, you're a fighter. You are a fighter. All right, come on. But one of the things, it's an isolated area. Durango is probably 50 miles away, and for her that isolation, makes her feel a little bit trapped. I think would be the description. But it brings up something that I remembered from my sociology class, which I took in college because it was just easier than hell. And my mathematics, as a math and earth science double major, and so those were fairly rigorous endeavors. And so it's nice to have easy courses. And Sociology 101 was famous for being easy, but I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot in it, even though it was incredibly easy. But there's a concept called anomie. And anomie is when I think technically it translates into normless. In other words, you've lost your norms. But it really describes when you're out of place. And by out of place, when your stature in life doesn't fit who you are. And the most famous examples of it are people who win the lottery and then have their life fall apart because of it. And that's from the condition called anomie. And I think it's probably somewhat common off and on if you live a nomadic life in an RV, as an example. Because there are times when you definitely feel disconnected. You're disconnected from your family. You don't have property. You don't have a home that you call, you have your RV, of course, or your van or whatever you're living in. But if it's parked somewhere that you're out of place, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. So I think that Terry and I both feel a little anomie every once in a while. But the beauty of this place and the fantastic fishing, certainly solves that problem for me. Now, It's one of those things that I'm sure gets old for Terry, but she's kind enough to let me have at least a month in this area, if not 2 at times. So I really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for watching.